talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things
and all the bad things.
So, welcome to episode 6 of Bluetooth. Thanks for sticking around with us and viewing. Always be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, we have a special guest.
Yay.
Our guest here is Miss Stephanie Antoinette, our licensed therapist.
Hi. Hey, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
Very thankful.
Yes, jump in this conversation as we have it. Let's face it, breasts are everywhere. During last week's episode, we talked about breasts showing up in the media. But how do people really feel about breasts, especially those of us who have it? So today we're gonna discuss what it's really like walking through life with breasts.
But first, of course, we have to take it to the streets and see what Bluetooth on the Move has to say.
What are your observations on how some women dress because of their breast size?
I find a lot of my friends who are blessed above, they typically wear a lot of drapey clothing, which I hate because their waists are very thin, but it's like they can't find, kind of that right mix to where it fits them up top, but then it sucks them in right in the waist. And so oftentimes it's like pants and then this drape thing. It just goes down over them.
Understandable.
Do you think breasts play a role in young girls and women feeling self-conscious? Why or why not?
Yeah, for sure. I think I guess it depends on like the type of social media content that you consume, right? Like whatever you decide to put in front of you is like what's going to affect you mentally. So if you're putting like a certain body type in front of yourself all the time, like a Kardashian type, like of course, you've got big boobs. So if you don't have that, you're gonna feel inferior maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think breasts play a role in young girls and women feeling self-conscious?
Yes.
Why?
Because people don't pay attention. Well, we don't talk enough about like breast care, how to wear clothes with your specific bra size, and all girls, all women have some phase of breasts, and nobody really talks about that.
Absolutely right. What is something that you like about your body?
Oh, I like my curves.
Okay. And what is something you don't like?
Oh gosh, I don't like my fair skin, and because I really adore dark skin, I like melanated stuff. And my breasts, I really do. I've always wanted to get a breast reduction, so wish I could change that.
What are your observations on how some women dress because of their breast size?
My observations.
Observations.
I feel like, well, just from a clothing, they're not made for bustier women, and if they are, it's not very flattering. So that's my observation.
Okay. What is something that you like about your body?
I like about my body, my curves, and that's about it.
Okay. What is something that you don't like?
My curves.
So you got a love-hate relationship.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on the responses from the women talking about like even just social media?
That was a good point to me because that shapes a lot of what people feel and think, and especially our younger people. So it made perfect sense to me. So they might be seeing people with what they don't have and wish they did.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah. I would also mention this is big breasts, small breasts too. So even, finding things that are flattering or unflattering can be a struggle for pretty much anyone with breasts. So making sure that you feel comfortable and whatever you put on is a big thing as well. But
because dressing for your breasts is definitely a thing.
I like dressing for your breasts.
I love that.
Yes.
Do I need to put that on the shirt?
You put that on the shirt. Yes.
And
Dressing for your breasts. Yes. Because Because I think that's really what happens subconsciously when we go shopping, and you know, you're first you go in with this mentality that you're gonna look cute or whatever they have it on, and the reality is when you put it on, it might not be that way.
And it might not. And we talked about in an earlier episode about the different mannequins or just seeing people online at shops that we shop at online where they show real people wearing these things, and it helps to get an idea of how it will fit you based on your body type.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely have to dress for your breasts.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna be adopting that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I always say like they gotta wear clothes for me. So it's either you might see a little slight cleavage or something because I don't want to buy something that's so big, or either I wear something big and I just look a couple of pounds heavier.
Yeah, like with the comment about the draping, like that was something that really is a real thing too, especially if you're top heavy. They don't make a lot of clothes out there for top heavy women with slim waists, so there is this draping look that does happen. I remember just wearing oversized t-shirts or just whatever, just because. So to me, that played into my subconsciousness because I couldn't find the cute clothes that my friends were wearing. How do y'all feel?
The struggle.
The struggle. Yes.
Yes, I mean I've definitely been there, especially growing up busty. So definitely couldn't wear all the cute things, all the little tops.
You can't play out your personality either, like who you are.
Right.
And so what do you associate with drapiness and all of that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the older generation is like, I want to be cute. I want to turn up, you know? And so it does kind of dial down like the self-esteem and stuff like that. When you go out there and it's like, oh, man, here we go.
That makes me think about, do y'all watch Euphoria at all? Or have y'all seen anything from it?
I think I watched like a couple episodes and then I stopped.
And you see how they dress on there? Like it's kind of provocative. Like y'all some high school kids.
Yeah.
And they will basically go to school looking like, how can we say it?
You can just say it. We can be confident. We're grown.
I don't even know the word that I want to put on there. I mean, it's provocative, but like, what can we label it like?
Is it like revealing top, short shorts?
It's all on the above.
Okay.
Hardcore.
Okay.
Like, there's no way that you should be talking to a teacher looking like that. They come in like, I feel like they called it like slutty something for one of the girls. I can't think of her name. The dark haired one that was dating the popular jock, and like she would wear stuff like thongs showing out the sides of the pants, like an old music video from 2000. It was just a lot.
I guess it's depending on who you're talking to, because a lot of people be, oh, that's body positive, showing your personality, it's showing, you know, you just being out and proud, right? But then depending on who else you talk to, it's like, whoa, that's a little bit much. And what attention do you really want to attract?
Right.
And we're saying this
As
is
a
high
teenager.
school.
Right, and we're older, so
Yeah.
I know we're looking at it from an older perspective and knowing that we definitely could not dress like that in high school when we were kids. But
are they really dressing like that in high school? I mean, because that's media.
yeah,
You talk about how
they
media plays a role.
it's the crop tops, it's the
That's not.
all that.
You were very right. They are sexualizing girls in
It
media, TV, all of that.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't see your average teen dressing like that.
No, if I tried to walk out the house like that, and if my daughter dares to when she is old enough.
Let's turn around, man. We're not doing that.
I will say that, like, on the show, they have, because, you know, high school or any school consists of, like, different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they do show that, like, everybody isn't dressing provocatively. You have the people that are dressing with the drapey clothing, which is the star. What's her name again? Not her. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But her name is Rue on the show.
Okay.
Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya.
Zendaya. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I see it written more than I hear it. Zendaya. Yes. She wears the drapey clothing and everything. So you have a mixture,
Okay.
but it just brings back to like you seeing who are you or who do you want to be and all that. And I was like, that show really represents a lot of that. So you get to see the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
From little to nothing. To
Literally.
Yes. So I think that when we, if you put a bunch of people in a room, like even us talking about that spectrum of people at the high school in Euphoria, you got so many different people. So you put a bunch of people in a room and ask them questions about themselves, like what they like, what they dislike. I feel like it's going to be so easy to say all the things that they don't like about themselves, because that's the thing. Like there's so much dissatisfaction with ourselves in general. And then, I mean, people can still point out things that they like though, but a lot of times people are pretty dissatisfied with that.
And I think that comes from just being, around other people and not really fully accepting yourself. Like, because if you were hypothetically on an island by yourself, and then you be like, this is all you know.
Right.
But then you see other people like, oh, I like that, or I want. And then you're like, I don't like this about myself anymore. So it does come even without media, because we didn't grow up with social media like it,
right?
So, but we still went through those phases where there was something we didn't like about our body, and it was easier to call out those things, and then coming to a point where hopefully we're accepting what we, accepting what we have. But but again, that's just seeing what else is out there. But it really comes back to the core of who we want to be and what we're accepting.
Right.
I see a lot of that on social media now. Like I recently saw a thing where it was like, oh, they'll have the audio and then you act it out or something. So it was like, what's something you like about yourself? What's your favorite this or something about yourself? And they showed all that. And I actually thought it was funny because it was like, I think the lady had on some lingerie or something while she was doing it. So it's like all cute, like something. It said, what's your favorite part about yourself or something? And she went like this. And I was like, her throat? But so like I went back because I was like, wait, what's really going on here? Like,
let's rewind.
So I went back and I realized that I looked and she said I could see her mouthing my voice. I was like, ooh, thank you for that. Because if you were saying that it was your throat, I was really like, okay. So the throat. Not, hey, what you love about you. Hey, that's you. I was like, throat, okay. Go ahead, throat. But it's her voice. Her voice. So yes, I do see things that are promoting positivity for your body in all aspects, all aspects of you, and so self-care, body positivity and stuff, like that's the thing now, and that's really good. Because I don't think we had that growing up. Nobody was just like,
and I gotta give it to this new generation.
Yeah,
they really are out there doing the research, trying new things, and putting themselves out there.
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah,
they're bringing some positivity.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I feel like we just were like, I don't have that or something when we were young.
We didn't have too many options.
No.
Yeah, it was like, no.
They told us what we were supposed to look like when we went in the store.
Yeah. It was just like, well, so much for that. That's all we had. We had nobody be like, you love this about yourself.
Right.
Say kind words to yourself.
Right.
No.
That's all you got.
Good, they don't have to deal with that today.
No.
So there's shame when it comes to like having small breasts or large breasts. So that's something like I said, growing up, you see some things and you're like, I don't have it, or I do have it. For me, I think I saw more small breast things growing up, and I was like, I don't have it. So like when it comes to that and your expertise, what are some issues you've seen when it comes to the body image, and especially regarding breasts?
Interesting enough, you actually see it both in women with smaller breasts and with larger breasts. With smaller breasts, I want my body to be as developed, right? With the larger breast is, well, why am I more developed than others, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even finding, like we were talking about earlier, finding clothes, finding things that actually bring out your personality and bring out who you are. So all those things play into it.
Okay. Is there a certain age group where you notice it more than others?
In my experience, my patients mostly, you would be surprised, as young as 5 years old.
Oh, goodness.
As young as 5 years old with body image and just being self-conscious. I mean, it's a lot of external factors that play into that, right? Something like our family members. Oh, you look at them legs, child. She gonna be thick, child, just like her mama. Or if we're eating, make sure you eat all your food. You need to put some meat on them bones. Like, there's some external factors that goes into that plays into that, right? I've had, even when they go to school, so you have some kids who are 4th, 5th grade, so how old is that, 9 or 10? About 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I mean, we're reaching puberty way sooner than we did back in the day.
Even boys too.
Yes.
The hormones.
And so you start to see girls and boys, right? You start to see like they're developing different than their peers. And so that starts to really weigh on them, and it really starts to play in with how they see themselves and their self-esteem. So yeah. And research even shows as young as 3. So we really gotta
3-year-old worried about their bodies.
Well, yeah. You have some that's like, oh, look at my leg and look at her leg. Or they go around and be like, oh, she got a big bum bum.
They might be in diapers. No, you should be out. But
it does. Our 3-year-olds are very, very, they know what's going on around them.
Man, that's telling. Like, I don't know what to say.
I know, like, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I think our old people are pretty ruthless, though. You know, they say things like that you don't think, you would think that they knew better, but they just don't. But I think, like, even recently my friend was like, yeah, my grandma would always tell my little cousin, like, oh, you're something about her being thick or something like that, about her weight. And she was like, she would always leave out crying, but like she kept doing it. I was like, how many times does she have to cry before you realize that this is hurting her feelings and her self-esteem?
And it's developing like an internal voice.
Yeah.
That you really don't even realize sticks with you until like your early, like pre-teens, teens, and even adulthood.
Yeah, you can still hear some of that stuff in your adulthood. Like, dang, it's just ringing in my head.
Yeah. Right.
Dang.
Right.
Do you think that you see it more like in males or females?
Yes, I think I see it more in females. I haven't had experience of hearing it from males as far as like body, but more like, am I weak, am I strong, that kind of stuff coming from males. However, you do get that minority that's like about their body image, about if they form or develop breasts, right? You hear it when they're either from coaches on their sports teams. You know, if you're big, then you're supposed to be on this type of team, or you're supposed to play this type of position. So you do kind of hear it from males on that aspect, but you mostly hear it from females. Yeah.
Hey, wow. Yeah, it's not surprising, but I can imagine it for sure. Makes perfect sense to me.
I read a study somewhere, and I would have to find and verify it and put it somewhere. But it was saying like with the suicide rates for males, it was because of body image, and so that surprised me. So I will look into that. And
because of body image.
Because of body image.
I mean, but look into that though. Are males, do they have an open space, a safe space to really communicate how they feel?
No,
I don't think so.
And so you have to suppress all of that.
Yeah.
You got to keep all that down. You don't really know what to do with it. And really the only emotion in most cases that they can really express is either anger or just being happy.
Yeah. And I guess when it comes to like, if body image is something that typically women or girls, you know, express, that could be looked at as maybe feminine for those male dominant gender, so perhaps that's the reason why it is suppressed. Why are you worried about your body? But I hear like my son is one of my sons is very skinny, you know. But both his parents were very skinny at his age too. But you know, you're gonna grow up to put on some weight and everything. But I hear that in him now. He's like, I have these skinny legs. You're okay.
Yeah. I wonder what legs does he desire to have? Like, what's his ideal leg size?
That would be a good question, but I guess he's again probably looking at other folks, and he probably hears it too. Oh, you're so skinny.
Yeah.
You know, I think that voice,
especially being down south.
Yes. Yeah. So you know,
that's the thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing. Yeah. What are the signs that someone may be self-conscious about their body?
I mean, just what we've already mentioned. You know, how do they react when they see themselves in the mirror? What are they constantly talking about? What parts are they constantly talking about? Just how anxious they are to even get dressed, to put out clothes, right? Thinking about how they're going to prepare for the day. When you go out with your friends, what some of the things that they are also, well, if they're not on time, what do you do? Well, I can't find the right this or that because you know this and that. And so those are some of the signs there when they really just over focus on certain things and when it's keeping them from doing things that they really enjoy. Yeah. Right? We're supposed to be out having fun. And she's worried about certain things about her body was making her so sad, right? And so those are things we really gotta pay attention to.
That reminds me, I started watching this series on Netflix, Jenny and George. It's about a mom and daughter.
Yes, I love
it. I'm like, but one of the when you talk about getting dressed, it reminded me they're in high school, I believe. This one friend was taping her. In my opinion, she was already skinny. Yes. She's taping her thighs so she can fit in these jeans. And I'm just looking like, again, I'm like, you already thin. Like, what? You don't want nothing to jiggle. You don't want nothing to move. Like, you gonna have some skin, you know. But just seeing that, it was like that character is definitely going through that body image. And they were playing a game of Truth or Dare, and they dared her to take it because it was $300 pair of jeans. They dared her to take them off and have somebody try them on. She just walked out, like, because then people would see the tape. So you know, if I didn't think people were taping their thighs, I knew they were taping their breasts for basketball and stuff, but I didn't think they were taping their thighs.
That's pretty deep. I'm really concerned about what that feels like, taking the tape off.
Hello,
that's all I can think of.
It was that gray tape.
Right. That's painful. Yeah. Like, did she have on like some? No.
But the fact that people will go through pain, you know, to look a certain. I mean, it's evident even in adults when you will go through so much pain to look a certain way, and make sure your body is a certain way. But
them girls,
yeah, but that's at least made for that tape.
It's not, and for them to get creative with that, like people are getting creative with how they're going to show up. I guess essentially for themselves, or is it for other people?
I think it's a little bit of both. Okay. You want to feel comfortable when you're out in public, right? You don't want to think about what may be the issue, so you want to go ahead and take care of it before you even go out. So when I step out, I'm good, right? And so then you get that gratification for how people react to you, right? Like, okay, what I did, it was enough.
I bet that gratification is like off the roof now, especially with social media, the likes. So we have to go out in this world and get our likes.
Yeah. I remember reading an article talking about like if they took away the likes, or it was a question about them taking away the likes possibly, so where people didn't feel away when they see things on social media.
Because you post a picture and nobody like it. Like, you don't get
some people will like delete it and repost it again. And like, oh, people weren't active right now. All right,
hey, let me wait
Listen, it gets posted when it gets posted. Y'all like it or y'all don't, and I move on with life.
Yeah, it was a backlash though, because now they were like, oh, well, now you're messing with my money. I get paid based off
for the likes. Oh, maybe influencers.
Like, let's look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah, that's a lot. Now, think about this girl with the tape. It reminded me of like, I remember back in the day, which maybe people still do it now, but like some girls would wear shorts under their jeans to try to make their butt look bigger. Did y'all ever know of anyone doing that?
I mean, if I did, it was for convenience. Like I have on some now, just so I don't have to like take them off if I go work out or something. But it wasn't to make my butt look big.
Like that. I mean, she had told me that, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was
Was
a thing either.
was it certain shorts? I'm trying to think what shorts would make. Because I mean, if it's not the tights, any other shorts will ruffle up, and you can see that.
How do you put
I think it was like those, you know, those old school shorts we had, the softy shirt or softy,
what kind of jeans
whatever.
are you wearing?
Whatever was being worn in 2002,
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then there was a girl in high school who wore those panties with the butt pads, and I was like, pretty girl.
Yes.
She had she had a shape or whatever. She had hips. She just didn't have a butt, but she cared that much that she wore the butt pad panties that would end up showing through the jeans that she was wearing, and it was just like.
But what do you do when you get with somebody and they still be just fake?
I know my friend recently told me that he was like she had a butt when she went to the bathroom and had her clothes on or whatever, but after that she didn't have a butt. Like after she came out the clothes, she didn't have a butt. So he was saying that she was wearing that.
When I just, kind of swiped up against you a little bit, I felt something. Now I don't feel that anymore. Like, am I tripping?
At this point, they were like together outside of the wherever they were at. They were outside of that.
Her bait worked.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure knowing him, he wouldn't have minded if she just had her real butt showing.
Yeah.
But the fact that.
But when she took it off, I guess that was her signal. Okay, it worked. So let me.
It was a butt be gone moment. That's what happened.
But think about it. Look at when we wear any type of shapewear or anything like that. We're also creating an image as well. And so when we take that off, everything's I'll speak for myself, right? Everything is not just solid, right? You're gonna get some jiggle up in it. Well,
it's supposed to. It got to.
Yeah.
So I think it's just what we feel is a cultural norm, right? It may not be as normal to go and wear the butt pants is what you said. It may not be a cultural norm to do that, but it may be more acceptable to do like shapewear, right?
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on how we look at different things.
That's true.
Yeah.
It just seemed a lot because we were in high school.
And
I was like, I didn't really have a butt either, but I was.
You didn't have as many options as people have today. Now imagine if we had all the options and resources we had today. Back then, honey, you can tell us anything. And we didn't have social media too?
Yeah.
So a lot of people out here fold.
Some of these people getting their BBLs pretty early too.
How early?
Like
17?
at least early 20s for sure.
I mean,
if not
18 to
earlier.
my 17.
But I know of someone that was that age getting lip stuff.
Yes, I have seen that.
And I was like, first of all, you're in a very Title I school. Why are you affording this?
You said very.
No, it was very Title I. And I was just like, but this is what you spending your money on? Some bigger lips?
Priorities. Like, where are they? But it is caught up in the image.
It is.
Have you seen that within like breast reduction or even just surgery in that area?
Me?
Yeah, as far as like young girls,
I mostly hear about the reductions in young girls, But as far as breast augmentation, not while they're young.
Right. I know someone
or anything like that. Yeah.
Someone had theirs, like, I think maybe right. No. We were in high school. Her breasts were large, but I think they did start to kind of come back over time because that was like pre-baby and we're still growing at that age anyway. Yeah. But I understood the reduction.
Yeah.
She felt a lot lighter though, and she felt better that she could like wear a tank top freely and stuff. That made sense. I know. I know what she.
But I understand what you're saying. It's getting younger.
It is
with changing their bodies.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, also, I would say, like, how would you approach someone? What do you think is like the most appropriate way to approach someone that you know that might be having body image issues? Because you mentioned if someone is like talking about it a lot and repeatedly, like how would you even approach that person about it?
You definitely want to, active listening is one of the big things, right? But if you hear them really just, like I said earlier, honing in on those certain areas, it's okay to kind of just, hey, why are you talking about yourself like that? What's going on? Oh, nothing, oh, okay, so you do like this, but you just want to kind of change this a little bit. Another thing we can do is just offer any type of support, right? How can I support you? How can I show up for you, right? A lot of times when we're able to put focus on whatever they're having issues with, they might not even know they have an insecurity about it. But because we brought it up, then it actually helps them open up about it because it's somebody that they trust, right? We're their friend. And then they can actually start to focus in on that. Whoa, I didn't know I talked about that so much, right? I didn't know I brought that up every time we went out, right? Yeah. And so that's really important. But it's coming from a person that they trust and a person that they know, hopefully, that wants to pour into them. So that's really good. And another thing is, don't go in with the negativity, right? You do have some people, oh man, my butt getting big. Yeah, your butt sure is getting big. Like, don't do that, right?
They thought I was gonna lie. I'm just telling the truth. I'm saying what she said.
Right. Okay. But we have to understand. Sometimes people do that because they're like, well, let me get to it before somebody else gets to it. Let me call it out before somebody else calls it out. And so it's like, no, as my friend, I'm not gonna go for that at all. We don't need to go for the negativity. So that's another way you can approach it.
So keep it positive. Make sure you're listening. Okay.
And don't fall for the negativity. We're not doing that. We're not doing negative training in 2023.
We're not.
Leave it there. Leave it there. So really, it's just a matter of showing up in love too. Being positive about it. And as a friend, wanting to help other people. I mean, we do need to practice probably that active listening a little bit more. So if you're not there yet, learn that skill before you just dive in and have that conversation with somebody, because we want to be able to help our friends. Yeah.
So what about when it comes to breast in general? Like, how would you say to approach someone who's talking about their breasts, whether they're too small or too large or too whatever, or saggy, floppy? Yeah, even with the young girls, like, as they're developing, that could be a crucial conversation to have too, because they're still developing. So even kids getting younger, or women or people are conscious about their bodies. So I even have a friend that just had a baby and she's just like, titties are ghetto, like, cause her breasts are. That's an interesting one. Yes, her breasts are. I want that sweatshirt. Because like she never had them, and now obviously she's breastfeeding and they're just full, and I'm like, look at you, MILF. Like, that's what I'm saying. So she don't like them. No, she doesn't like her breasts at all. I have a friend, she was happy when she had her breast mama milk. I was happy. I was happy. Did you like they went away? Oh, no, she wants hers to go away. But yeah, sorry. The question. How do we approach these people? I called her a MILF, and I feel like that was pretty positive. She didn't receive it well? I mean, she did, but she still was like, no. Yeah, she's like, but I still think that's a good way to approach it, though. That rebuttal that you have, like, I see what you're saying, but let me show you what you really are, right? Let me what they say, adjust your crown a little bit, right? Another thing I think that's awesome, which is what uplifting is doing, is just that resource. Yeah, you have to see it, right? You have to see that all of our breasts are not created equal. At all, right? Not even the two. I mean, that's just a scientific fact. Yes. Right. And so, as we are showing up for our friends and loved ones, it's okay. Be up on your resources. Yeah. Right. Something as simple as YouTube. Something as simple as look at mine. Right. They not asymmetry. Someone here, one there. Right. But like I said before, active listening first. Making sure that they know that they're heard and they're seen, and then we can go on the other part. But if you're really unhappy, look at this resource, right?
if you really want more questions, let's go here. Let's go, how would I show up for you? How can I support you in a way that you feel seen and heard? And so that really helps as far as when we're talking about breasts, because sometimes that's the first thing people see, right? I mean, now I know, right? And so I definitely, you have to understand where that person is coming from. Yeah. So meeting them where they are as far as whatever their concerns are, and then being ready to be like, hey, let's look up some stuff, right? You're not the only one out there feeling like this. We all in this together. Because a lot of times people feel alone in how they feel. And so it's okay to just be that kind of support for them. But be ready for the resources.
Resources are powerful.
That makes sense.
I'm glad I'm at a point where I just accept what it is. I have this thing about taking my bra off through my shirt. And my daughter was 4 at the time. And she's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a bra. And then she's looking at me and she was like, I thought those were up there. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad she knows gravity.
Right,
but, you know.
Right, they were. Let's have a science lesson.
But I can see how some people would have felt offended about that. I didn't even go into that with her. Like, I'm okay with who I am.
Yes.
And it is what it is.
Children are brutally honest.
They can be.
And they can't help it at all.
And then now I can laugh about it. So.
Now I will say, there was something I shared one day for Hump Day Humor where they were saying, like, if the titty doesn't drop, then when they take the bra off, then I don't want it. That's what they were saying. They said that they wanted to have a beat drop. So,
okay.
See that? You that type of friend I need around.
No, but I'm just saying, because like I guess the men don't like when they just staying in place. They don't want them to still right here. We take the bra off. They need to see the beat drop so they know it's like.
They don't even know it's real. Let's go.
Yeah, so they know it's real. Literally, so they know they're real.
But it's okay.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying what the meme said. Okay. I don't care what anyone's breast does, but my own and my clients, because I want to uplift them.
Yes.
But no, I'm only worried about these two.
Yes. Same here. Like what you do with your breast and your body is up to you. But ultimately, if you are seeing something in some friends or family members, give them the resources that they need so they can make an informed decision. But ultimately what people do with their body, whether it be a breast reduction or enhancement, is up to them. But a good bra could really fix a lot of the problems that us girls with breasts go through. So look for your local bra consultant or find one online. Uplifting.
Now also for the ones that are looking for those solutions, like, would you just say to have the conversation the same way? Like, because, you know, some people be like, look, you need a bra. You need a good bra or something like that. Like, you think that's a good approach?
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody how to say how to be supportive, right? Because some people are, all you need is a good bra, sis, right? Let me bring you up to uplifting, right? Or were we talking about solutions as far as
anything? Like, they might want surgeries, they might want bras, whatever.
I just saw a interview that Cardi B did, and I'm not saying that I'm an advocate or I'm not getting paid by her or anything like that. However, she made a good point. Not every time when somebody wants to do surgery does it mean that I feel like something is wrong with me, right? I mean, I can go and do something to my eyebrows, to my eyelashes, whatever it is. We're not sitting down having these same conversations, these in-depth intervention conversations, right?
Makes sense.
So let's just make sure, like I said, with the active listening, let's get to the problem first. And if there's not, and they just want to go and do any type of procedure, hey sis, I'm gonna be right there with you. You know, and just showing up for people. It's a different world out there now, but we just have to make sure behind the scenes. Is there a deeper issue, or is this just something that my friend or loved one just want to do, right? Yeah. And regardless, people need support. People need to know that they're not by themselves. And so that's always the way.
Okay. That makes perfect sense to me. Just seeing how to approach people, because, you know, we talked about the older generations. They're really cutthroat when it comes to advice and things like that. So just trying to see how we can change that
Mm-hmm.
for the future to where it's less harsh,
Yeah.
more loving,
Yeah.
speaking with love,
Mm-hmm.
and more supportive.
Yeah.
Because it could be so many different things that they need, but it's just that we got to figure out how to say it. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
And also, why?
Why are you telling me this?
Why? Right.
That is very important. You're like, yes, well, also why? That's a good one. Yeah. Why? Why are we talking about this? That makes sense. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Note to self. Y'all better make note of this too. I like that. So, you have any more questions for Miss Stephanie Antoinette?
Thank you, Stephanie, for being our wonderful guest
This
today.
was fun. I like this.
I'm glad you like talking
I
about
love the
breasts.
topic too.
Yes, yes.
Again, and remember, if you or anyone you know is experiencing anything that you want to talk about, find some close, trustworthy friends or family members. Feel free to consult an expert if you are in need of help as well. And remember that you don't have to do it alone.
Yes, and of course you can also reach out to us. That will be fine. If you need to find your local bra consultant, like she said, you can also find you a local therapist or one that will talk to you virtually. They don't have to be local. So find you someone to talk to, someone to confide in if you don't already have that person.
Stay tuned till next week.
All right.